But we're going to go ahead, since we just ended with education. I've got one for you specifically. Speaking of the books on the shelf, and Moms for Liberty has really exposed, has really exposed a lot of the obscenity and vulgar language, just all kinds of awful stuff in the books that are in our Hamilton County school libraries and classrooms, on shelves in the classrooms. The librarians, a lot of them are holding their own, and they're like, we are the experts, and we get to choose what goes in here, and we should have choice. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like there should be some kind of prosecution for these librarians, or how would we handle that situation?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I talked to Pam yesterday. Where's Pam? Pam. There you are, Pam. Pam called me at the sheriff's office yesterday. I've also brought in Moms for Liberty to the sheriff's office to meet with the sheriff and Chief Garrett over this issue, because I think we all need to rally around it and talk about what the next best steps are. This is a tough one, because I am trying to be your next district attorney, and I do have to enforce the law. I think that there's going to come a time in some of these books where it crosses a criminal line. It's called contributing to the delinquency of a minor. And one interesting question that a county commissioner has posed to me is, what is the difference between having inappropriate information on a brochure that you're passing out to kids as they come into school, which obviously you can't do, right? We would all agree that that would have to be stopped, than just having it in their libraries. And that's probably the best way to pose it. And I don't know who originally posed it to him like that, but I think what we need to talk about is, how inappropriate is this content? Is it something that we wouldn't want passed out on the on the school steps? And if so, then what are we going to do about it? Number one, what we're going to do about it is we're going to make sure our school board members care and are the right elected officials. This is where I told Pam this yesterday. This is really where, guys, the rubber meets the road. Only 35,000 people are going to vote in the May primary, roughly. I think 30,000 was the number 4 years ago. A small amount of people in this county elect our school board members and our county commissioners and our mayor and our district attorney and our sheriff. So let me tell you something. The makeup of our books in our schools is going to change drastically if we've got the right people on the school board. So that's the first step, because I can't act like I can prosecute everybody if I can't identify a criminal defense that the elements meet that statute. I think that the commissioner, who I won't name, that the commissioner that posed in
our school. That came out of a Hamilton County library.
Yeah, book is.
Look at the sex position.
An elementary school.
Terrible. Horrible. Cuddling, kissing, touching, and sexual intercourse. Yeah, I don't know how it's not contributing to the delinquency of a minor. I'll say this, though. It comes, for me as a lawyer and somebody that's prosecuted these cases, you also have to determine who, at the end of the day, is responsible for putting these books in the school. Is it the librarian? Is it the school administrators? Is it the school board? Because if we're going to talk about who's on the hook for this, who is on the hook? We have to talk about it.
They're just going to turn you into circles.
We have to talk about it, right? Well, and the bottom line is this: the school board needs to remove them from the schools.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't see another option. The county mayor can have influence over that. But the county mayor still cannot dictate what the schools do. The superintendent and the school board can. So I think bottom line is this. I do think that there's a fine line where all of a sudden, obviously, if a teacher is handing a child something that I think is sexually explicit, I think we've got to look at criminal statute and determine if the elements are there, if it meets every element of a criminal offense. But man, this begins and ends with our school board. So, because even if I prosecute somebody for this book, there's still all the other ones that our school board's going to have to deal with. So that's got to be my answer, just out of fairness and what I think the law allows.